You're absolutely right. No one has factored in revenues from this order for in terms of ordering, etc., for HAL. But it's not about counting the revenues on this one now, but basically it's just sort of a bit of a fear that maybe the government prefers private sector players in a sector like this, in an extremely sensitive area where HAL had monopoly. So how would you read that?
No, I think the government's intent is clear. They would like to have a more robust, competitive kind of sector. So I don't find anything wrong in that. So if you look at it, the Tatas are producing the C295 and many other tie-ups are happening to produce helicopters and other aircraft. So I think that's going to happen. We're going to have competition, and there will be more players in the defense and civil aircraft sector. So I think that's something that is going to happen over a period of time. So if you look at HAL's strength today, I think we have the unique capability that we can build our own products. We build our own helicopters, we build the aircraft. You have seen the HTT, the LCA, the helicopters, the LUH, the Prachand. So I think we are uniquely placed that we have a very strong R&D and we are producing our own aircraft. So when we look at our revenues over the next 10 years, they are coming from our own in-house designed aircraft, and we have huge orders for that. Our order book is very, very solid order book that we have, which we will execute over the next 7 to 8 years. So in our year-on-year growth or projections or performance, it is really not going to make any difference, because this, even if it kicks in, the AMCA kicks in only after 2035. So HAL, I don't think we are really worried about competition. We have inherent strengths in our production and our design. So I would say our revenues are quite solid, and the future is very good with our R&D and the projects that we are designing. We are working on a deck-based helicopter now, which will, we are in certification, we will come out in 27. We have the Dhruv NG, which is a civil variant of the Dhruv, which we have now got an order of 10 numbers from Pawan Hans Limited. They will be deploying it for ONGC in the for the offshore transport, and that will be a new area for us of civil helicopters, which we see a growth area. Similarly, we have our Hindustan 228, which is a civil certified 18-seater, which we are seeing good traction. And as you know, recently we have tied up with UAC of Russia, and we have a MOU for producing the SJ-100, the 100-seater civil commuter aircraft. So we have the military part today, which is dominant, but we plan that in the next 10 years, the civil component of the aircraft is going to be a significant part of our portfolio. About 25% is the target. So we have these 3 platforms which we will be building, which will be for the civilian sector. And we have so many exciting new products which are already in design. The light utility helicopter, the utility helicopter maritime.
Yes.
And so I don't think the pipeline is an issue.
No, indeed. And I remember at Wings India 2026, you also spoke about how you plan to increase the share of civil aviation to 25% in the next decade from the current 5%. We'll get to that. But just coming back to this AMCA, reports say the reason for the disqualification is that your order book is more than 3 times that of sales. Is that a signal to you that you need to execute faster, speed up your execution? It's sort of penalizing you for sitting on such a large order book. And if that is the case, sir, you stand to risk other big orders in the future.
No, if you see the...
Go ahead, sir.
If you see the order book that we have, the Prachand starts deliveries in 27. So we are on The LCA also, we have already built the aircraft. So I think this narrative of HAL delaying is not correct. All our projects we have delivered, whether it's the Dornier or the Sukhoi or the helicopters. In the peculiar case of LCA, because of this lack of engines, we are having an issue. Otherwise, this narrative that HAL is delaying projects is not correct. Secondly, if you look at the particular RFI, there was a condition that if you had an order book more than 3x of your turnover, you would get 0 points, which we felt was quite unfair, that for a project of this kind of magnitude, it obviously means that a company with a better order book and better financials will be able to do it, it is more competent to do it. However, that was one of the conditions where we would perhaps have not got marks. So I would not speculate as to what are the reasons, if at all, if we are out. But I am really not so worried because, as I said,
so if at all, sir, you're out.
Revenue capital.
Sir, if at all you are out, would you look to challenge the decision?
No, I think let us see when it comes out, because there has been a committee of DRDO which has evaluated. So let's perhaps we will take a call. But as I said, we are not really disturbed as far as our revenues are concerned.
Okay.
Now, sir, the private sector with global tie-ups, right, is building capabilities. Do you think, and I mean, I'm sure it's already the case as you hinted at it, the government will look at the pace of execution before it hands out orders. Will you kind of, focus on executing faster internally? I mean, as you said, the narrative perhaps may be wrong. The LCA thing is because of the engines, but overall, in terms of delivery, timelines, etc., will the focus be on execution? Because order book is not a problem at all.
I can assure you that the focus is on execution. For example, we produced 16 engines last year. The Sukhoi engines, we produced 16 last year. This year, we have ramped up, we are producing 34. Right? Last year, we didn't have any helicopters because of the unfortunate grounding. This year, we are making 19 helicopters. So execution is not an issue. We are producing. Today, I can tell you, as of now, I have 5 LCAs flying with engines ready, and there are 9 which are already produced and tested and ready, 14 aircraft on the tarmac today. And by the end of the year, we will do 24. So I will not have the engines, but the aircraft will be ready. So there is this narrative that execution is not happening is not correct. We are building the aircraft. You can please come to our factory. We will show you those. By March end, we will have these 24 aircraft lined up with 5 with engines and the balance waiting for engines. I have interacted with GE recently when I went to their plant, and they have now, I think, fixed a lot of problems, and the guidance is that in the second half of the year, we will get good deliveries of engines.
Dr. Sunil, we certainly want you to do all of that and more. I mean, HAL, of course, occupies a place of pride as far as local manufacturing of aircrafts is concerned, and wishing you all the best at HAL and your team, and of course colleagues, etc., as you do it. Thank you very much for joining us, sir, with that clarity. Very useful, and we hope to speak with you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll take a quick commercial break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll sort of wrap up and do a quick, punchy markets forward in the 15 minutes on the other side.
Markets snap a three-day winning streak with the Nifty slipping below 25,700. The Sensex and Nifty both fall over 0.5%. The benchmark indices underperformed.
The sell-off in Hindustan Aeronautics continues. The company's chairman says they don't have anything in writing to suggest HAL is out of the fifth-generation fighter jet project. Adds even in the worst-case scenario, HAL will be involved in manufacturing the aircraft.
PB Fintech shares surge after the company calls off today's board meeting that was scheduled to consider a QIP fundraise. The stock had fallen more than 12% in the past three sessions amid concerns around the proposed acquisition and fundraise. Hello and welcome to Markets Forward. What a day of trading it's been. The market snapping their three-day gains today, ending in the red. The Nifty with cuts of about 133 points and the Sensex with cuts of more than 500 points is where we ended the day. The jitters, from the IT pack continuing over the last 2 days. And that was the story of the day today as well. Of course, tomorrow as we start the day, there will be other cues to look at.
There will be other cues. And like you mentioned, the MPC policy is something you track very closely. That particular outcome is also expected. You spoke about the benchmark indices, but the pain actually lay even in the broader end of the markets. The mid-cap and small-cap space also seen significant cuts. The small-cap index down over 1%, 1.4% to be precise, and the advanced decline ratio was quite muted in favor of the declines. A whole host of stocks, in fact, the IT pack continued to see some amount of selling pressure in the second half of the trading session after the sharp decline it witnessed yesterday, and individual stocks on the back of news flow as well as results continue to see significant and volatile trading moves are named like a PB Fintech, for instance.
With the update coming in on their board meeting for the QIP getting cancelled. So stocks reacting to specific news that's been coming in. The likes of Trent, Tata Steel, JSW, ONGC were some of the top gainers, despite how the market has been. And of course, on the downside, Hindalco, Eternal, BEL, SBI Life, all of them. But we're now joined by Sudeep Bandopadhyay of IndiTrade Capital and Richard Jain of Motilal Oswal Financial Services to give us a sense of the day that's been and what to watch out for. Sudeep, starting with you, we're going into Friday with the monetary policy. What is your base case expectation? What is the market going in with? And what do you think they'd want to hear from the governor?
Well, definitely market wants to hear a little bit of easing, but I'm not sure whether that's going to come at this stage. So I won't be surprised if there's a bit of a disappointment from the market's point of view post the policy announcement, if the 25 basis point cut, which some of us in the market are factoring in, doesn't get actualized. So I'll be very cautious for tomorrow's trading, and we'll wait and watch. However, having said that, I think there is no genuine reason to be too perturbed with RBI policy at this stage. The other macroeconomic factors are perfectly in place. And we had the India-US trade deal announcement, which has taken a lot of pressure off from the market. So by and large, half of the corporate results are out. Other half should be coming soon. And we are doing reasonably well compared to the expectations. So I would expect positive bias to remain in the market going forward. A little bit of correction here and there once in a while is absolutely par for the course.
Well, thank you so much, Sudeep, for that. Well, earnings season, more than halfway, we are past the halfway mark, and not a very bad season, like you mentioned. But Richard Jain of Motilal also joins us. Richard, are you a little worried that the sharp gap up we saw post the trade deal announcement hasn't seen further buying? In fact, we're off quite significantly from those highs, mainly led lower by the IT pack. So where do you see the Nifty headed from here on, and where are the supports and resistances?
Generally, whenever we see such huge gaps, then those gaps tend to act as a support on any retracements. So I think the good thing is that before the event itself, the broader markets have already seen decent pain from the highs. So I think on lower side, 25,400 to 25,500 should be seen as a good support now. So we do not expect any significant price-wise correction now to happen anytime soon. There may be some consolidation in the near term because of the pressure that we are seeing in certain heavyweights such as IT. But 25,400 to 500 would be seen as a good support, and any dip towards that zone should be used as a buying opportunity.
Richard, any view on HAL? I mean, the sell-off continues, and now we just had the management telling us that they don't really have anything in writing to suggest that they're out of the fifth generation fighter jet project. What are your near-term targets here? Is that something that you'd be looking at?
The kind of selling pressure that the stock has seen in last 3-4 days has been supported by very good volumes. And generally, whenever we see volume-based selling happening, the stocks can see some underperformance over short to medium term. So on the lower side, major support for the stock is placed around 37.50. So we could see some more correction, price-wise correction in the coming days in HL. But that's for sure that until there is any such clarity on this news, I don't think there would be further buying interest which would come in very soon in HL. So some short-term underperformance can be expected.
Well, thank you so much, Ruchit, as well as Sudeep for joining us. It's a short market check that we've done in this edition of Market Forward. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Market Forward. We will be back with more news and updates on the other side. Do I need to stay or should I leave?
Well, it's time for a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll get you an exclusive interview with the chairman and MD of Hindustan Aeronautics Limited on the other side.
and welcome to Business 360. I'm Archana Solanki. Here are the headlines we're tracking this evening. Sensex and Nifty snap a three-day winning streak. Nifty ends below 25,700. Broader markets fare mildly better. ID stocks extend losses. Rupee gains 8 paisa against the dollar. Global markets tread with caution as tech stocks remain under pressure. Silver prices plunged 13% after a short-lived rebound. Cryptocurrencies crashed, with Bitcoin dropping to its lowest level in 14 months. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal says the first tranche of its trade deal with the United States may be inked by mid-March, adds that the tariff reduction would come into effect once a joint statement is signed in the next 5 days. Also clarifies that India would be looking at a potential to procure American goods worth $500 billion over 5 years. This includes the Boeing deal as well. 90% of market participants expect the RBI to hold rates steady in the monetary policy tomorrow. 30% expect